Yeah, g'day, my name is Max and this is the world we live in. We are days or hours away from the IDF launching a brutal assault on the city of Rafah, where 1.2 million Palestinian civilians are bottlenecked, having fled there at the urging of the IDF after October 7th. The IDF's stated goal? Destroy Hamas. Problem is, Hamas is not there. Hamas is underground, and any analyst worth their salt knows that. Here is what Israeli Finance Minister Bezalel Smotrich had to say about Rafah. There are no half measures. Rafah, Deir al-Balah, Nisiriyat, total annihilation. You will blot out the remembrance of Amalek from under heaven. There's no place under heaven, Smotrich said. The article goes on to say, talks about how earlier at the International Criminal Court of Justice, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has previously compared Gaza to Amalek, which has been cited as evidence of genocidal rhetoric in South Africa's genocide case against Israel at the International Court of Justice. And this is what Netanyahu said: "You must remember what Amalek has done to you," says our Holy Bible. And we do remember, and we are fighting, Netanyahu said in October. Those two snippets there are from antiwar.com. And here's a video of that statement being made by Netanyahu.
They are all united and filled with a combat spirit that I've never seen before. They are willing to fight full force against an enemy that there is no other enemy as cruel as it is. They want to retaliate for the horrific acts that these people conducted against our children, parents, sisters, brothers, and friends. They are committed to completely eliminate this evil from the world for our existence, and let me add, for the benefit of all of humanity. The entire people and all of Israeli leadership, we all embrace them and believe them. You must remember what Amalek has done to you, says our Holy Bible, and we do remember, and we are fighting.
This is a Facebook post by an American man who I came across online who claims to be a follower of the Lord Jesus Christ. The Amalekites have been trying to destroy Israel for thousands of years. Israel stands because of God. That is a miracle. No, my friend, Israel, the false state of Israel, stands because of American money and Rothschild Zionist money. It's the only reason it stands. Now, this post is referring to the Palestinians who are currently being slaughtered by the IDF. This man professes to be a follower of the Lord Jesus Christ, yet he supports the murder of civilians. Now, the Amalekites are mentioned in the Old Testament. I believe they're an offshoot of Esau's line, and they hated the Hebrews and were always harassing them. And God commands Israel to destroy them, but Saul failed to do it completely until David finally completed the job and finished them off. And this is the command that God gives Israel in the Old Testament, that the Zionists and their Christian worshippers are currently referring to and just get really excited about. This is what the Lord Almighty says: "I will punish the Amalekites for what they did to Israel when they waylaid them as they came up from Egypt. Now go, attack the Amalekites and totally destroy all that belongs to them. Do not spare them. Put to death men and women, children and infants, cattle and sheep, camels and donkeys." That's 1 Samuel 15, verses 2 to 3. So you see that there: put to death men, women, children and infants, cattle and sheep, camels and donkeys. This is why Israel is invoking this Amalekite thing with reference to the Palestinians. They are trying to justify their mass slaughter of civilians, men, women, and children. Now let's look at these people that Christians are labeling Amalekites, who are such a threat to Israel and who God has allegedly tasked Bibi Netanyahu with destroying. This is 6-year-old Hind Rajab, or was 6-year-old Hind Rajab. She was fleeing Gaza City in a car with her extended family when they came under machine gun fire from the IDF. After being shot in the leg and the rest of her extended family killed in the car, she she got one of her family members' phones, called for help, spoke to her mother and emergency services over the phone as ambulance officers were being dispatched to her location. The IDF were monitoring their calls, and when the ambulance got within range, the two men inside were killed with a tank round, and then 6-year-old Hind, who had already been shot in the leg with her dead family members around her, was then finished with Israeli machine gun fire. Here's a video of Israeli soldiers singing and celebrating their feelings towards what they call Amalek, which, remember, is the Palestinians in Gaza right now. The IDF designed this. They told the civilians to flee to the south, where they're all bottlenecked. They're fish in a barrel. 1.2 million civilians right now. They're going in to kill as many of them as they can get away with. We are just hours away from witnessing one of the greatest slaughters of civilians in modern times, and a so-called civilized, democratic, enlightened Westerners, because of Christian Zionism, we're going to support it, and we're going to bless it, or at the very least, we're going to minimize it. This is an absolute catastrophe. And what's worse, what absolutely is just the most embarrassing thing, is you know who's making the most noise about this right now? It's the radical left woke atheists who are storming college campuses, taking to the streets, demanding a ceasefire, demanding a free Palestinian state. They put us Christians to shame. Zionism is a cancer in the church because it blinds Christians to the reality of the new covenant, the true Israel, and it turns the followers of the Prince of Peace, the Lord Jesus Christ, into bloodthirsty fanatics and supporters of Antichrist. My name is Max, and this is the world we live in.